You mean to tell me that Brittney Griner, four-time WNBA champion, couldn't get out of Russia? So she had to plead guilty? She couldn't get any help from her own home country? This is horrible, and this is making me angry. Hey everyone, what's going on? I'm cooking on this analytical. I'm coming to you straight out of NYC on this pretty Thursday afternoon. So I'm going to head out soon. So before I do so, I'm going to read to you about Brittney Griner pleading guilty to drug charges in the Russian court. So this is coming straight from CNN World. I apologize about that. It reads, the two-time U.S. Olympic basketball gold medalist Brittney Griner has pleaded guilty to drug charges in a Russian court near Moscow. Her lawyers confirmed to CNN on Thursday. Griner, whom the U.S. State Department has classified as wrongfully detained, faces up to 10 years in prison under the charge. Supporters of the Phoenix Mercury player have called for her release over fear she is being used as a political pawn amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Griner's lawyers expect the court to take into account the 31-year-old athlete's guilty plea and hope for leniency. Alexander Boykov and Maria Blagovolina told journalists Thursday, taking into account all the circumstances of the case, taking into account the personality of our client, we believe the guilty plea should be taken into account, Blagovolina said, adding Griner is a role model for many people. Samples taken from Griner did not show any traces of drugs, Boykov added. She was clean and she was tested, the lawyer said. Griner left the courtroom Thursday without giving any comment to reporters. Her next hearing is set for July 4th. Griner was arrested in February at a Moscow airport after Russian officials say they found cannabis oil in her luggage. The basketball star, who plays in Russia during the WNBA's offseason, has been held since then on a drug smuggling charge. A trial began last week. Griner told the court Thursday she had not intended to commit a crime. State news agency RIA Novosti reported Griner had not meant to carry drugs in her luggage, she said through an interpreter, and it was a result of her package packing in a hurry, the report said. The decision to plead guilty was made by Griner alone, a source close to her said. But in recent weeks, Griner, her family, lawyers, and experts had discussed this decision extensively. Given the 99% reported conviction rate in Russian criminal cases, Griner was urged to weigh all the factors, including a plea that could ultimately result in a shorter sentence. Some have speculated Griner could be released and returned to the U.S. in a prisoner swap, as was Trevor Reed, an American veteran detained in Russia for 3 years before his release in April. There is no indication such a swap is imminent in Griner's case. Still, before any potential prisoner swap, it was expected Griner would have to be convicted and also admit fault, a senior U.S. official told CNN. Reed had to sign a document saying he was guilty, something he had resisted for almost the entirety of his detention, just days before he was let out. The official said, "It is part of the show and the document that no legal force or effect in the U.S. It is effectively meaningless." Griner's plea came on the second day of her trial, at which a prosecutor accused her of smuggling less than a gram of cannabis oil in her luggage. Prosecutors argued Griner's intent to import the drugs into Russia's territory and put the prohibited substances into a backpack and suitcase, according to TASS, another state news agency. On Thursday's hearing, a senior U.S. diplomat gave Griner a letter U.S. President Joe Biden wrote in her reply to her July 4th letter, in which she pleaded for Biden's help. The U.S. Embassy in Moscow shared Biden's letter with Griner during her trial. Charge d'affaires Elizabeth Rood said Thursday. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to really stop there. The problem with this whole case, I can't even blame Biden for a lot of this. We got to go back to the WNBA. Why is it that the women have to work and play overseas, but the men don't have to? You understand? I don't care if the women of the WNBA play bad at this point. If they play so bad, why do you have a WNBA? Excuse me. So obviously they pay good at some point. What it is that you're not interested in seeing them play because they're women. Brittney Griner should be making money just like anyone else. Maybe not the $100 million a year salary, because they're not the best players, in my opinion. But to get only $5,000 a year, and then there's a salary cap. Only $1.3 million. There's no salary cap for players in the NBA. And I'm speaking slow because it angers me. It makes me mad. It's hurtful. Women are being underpaid in a lot of industries. But this, when I saw that, I said no. The average NBA salary is $1.5 million. The average for WNBA, $120K. I know a lot of people that make that easy. These people are on TV, these women. And this is what they're making. That's exploitation. Exploitation. Now I'm going to get to Biden. You let that girl linger to where she had to plead guilty. They're not going to let her out. She's going to have to do at least 2 years there. Now I'm looking and reading. Her monthly income is $300K. Her salary is $2 million. But think about her paying her agents, paying other bills. After all that is broken down, that's not a lot of money that she's making. If she's lucky, she's bringing home about maybe $90K, $900K. She's not making real money. That's why she's over in Russia. So if you were to pay these women at least $7 million, somebody like her, 4-time WNBA champion, 2-time gold medalist at the Olympics, pay her at least $7 million a year, she wouldn't have been going to Russia. What this is going to do, in my opinion, this is going to wake up a lot of WNBA players, and this is going to kick them in their rear. And I hate to use that term, but it's going to kick them in their rear where they're going to force the WNBA to increase their salaries. Because it may not just be happening in Russia. It could be happening in, let's say, Greece. It might happen in other countries. Then what? Why do they have to play overseas to supplement their income? So they can keep up a certain lifestyle, which is to be wealthy, to be rich. So that they can match or attempt to match the salary of their NBA counterparts. And here's my thing. When she comes home, yes, she'll probably play at the WNBA again. Because what she did, it wasn't scandalous. She just accidentally didn't remove drug paraphernalia from her bag. But here's my thing. Will she be that strong of a basketball player? You gotta think about that. Because her mental is not as strong as it was pre-arrest and being detained. She's in a country where she don't know any other language probably. And I want to talk about the lawyers. Because, see, here's the thing. She should have got lawyers who were American but also knew international law because she had the money. Those lawyers, they're Russian, but still their allegiance is to Russia at the end of the day because they got admitted to the bar of Russia. She's American. I personally think they encouraged her to take that plea. And I think a lot of it had to do because she didn't have the money. I don't think Brittney had the money. Now, her wife is an attorney. She's in her third year law school. I think she graduated. And her wife, unlike that first chick, she seems like she really loves her kids about her. And I also got to say something about Brittney Griner. She really has a thing for black women. And Brittney Griner comes from her family is mulattoes and Creoles. They're not dark-skinned, they're light-skinned. She's not biracial, but she's from a mixed Creole mulatto family. And they're light-skinned. I gotta really give it to her that she really is into black women. Because a lot of studs, they like to go outside their race or they like to get light-skinned women. She does the opposite. She got a thing for black, dark-skinned women. So that tells you a lot about her personality too. She's not color struck. That's a good thing. I gotta give it to her. But to end this, I'm gonna say this: WNBA, y'all need to pay better. At the NBA, y'all need to look out for those women because this shouldn't be going on. They shouldn't be playing overseas anyway. Stay out of these people's countries. In my opinion, it's a danger. It's a health hazard. Visit, but then take your ass back home. And with that being said, I'm signing off. Thank you for listening and have a good night.